This is verse 23 of the 4th chapter, the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus has just called his first 4 disciples, and immediately he launches upon his messianic career, beginning to preach, apparently with just the 4 in tow at this point. So we have John saying in verse 23, Kai, this is the connective, and periagen, this is from periago. Peri means around, about, ago means to lead, so you get the impression he was leading them, that is the disciples, about. So leading them, the them is implied here, it's not actually present, but it is suggested by this word. And was leading about. It's imperfect here, third person singular, imperfect active indicative, so it indicates an ongoing action, was leading them about. Preposition in hole. This is an adjective, means all or whole. In hole te Galilea. In all the Galilee. There's no sense here of some kind of map or some sort of prefabricated plan, but just sort of randomly going from here to there would be the impression. So leading about in all of Galilee. And then we have 3 participles, each one a present participle. So we have didaskon, present active participle, masculine singular, nominative, so it's referring to the subject, referring to Jesus, so teaching. And then the second participle is here, keruson, preaching, so teaching, preaching. And then therapeuon, healing. All of them are present active participles, and each of them is associated with a phrase that describes something of it. So teaching, and then we have in, preposition, tais, this is the feminine plural of the accusative of the feminine noun synagoges, so he's teaching in the synagogues, auton, possessive pronoun, of them. So the first thing he's doing is he's going about is teaching in the synagogues, implying more a gathering in worship. This was not uncommon to have visiting itinerant individuals get up and say a few words, and so it's not out of order for Jesus to be invited to do something like that. And then preaching, so we have preaching to euangelion, the kingdom, the good news, I should say the good news, the good message here, tes basileas, of the kingdom. So he's preaching the gospel of the kingdom. We don't have the same mention earlier of repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand, but rather sort of packaged within it, we have the expectation that that may be going on. So he's teaching in the synagogues, he's preaching the good news of the kingdom, the idea that this is good news, that the kingdom is arriving. It's rolling into the station, and then kai therapeuon, third of the participles, and healing. And then it's pason noson, this is from nosos, refers to an illness or a malady with a particular focus on the pain of the malady. So he's healing the maladies here, kai, and then pason again, the adjective, and every malachion. The root of this word has more to do with the weakness, so the pain and the weakness, sicknesses, maladies, so every sickness and every malady, in preposition with the dative, in the lao, in the people, or among the people. So as he's teaching in the synagogue, preaching, presumably outside now, more to larger audiences that may gather out in public areas, preaching the good news of the arriving kingdom, and then healing, of course, as people are coming before him. This display of his healing power is going to become one of the most important aspects of the ministry of Christ, and it will draw increasingly large crowds who are coming both to hear the message, but also in many cases to get relief from various maladies to which they are suffering.